You too, thank you. So, Spycraft. Spies. So welcome to I think this is the second time we've done Cloak, Dagger, Kimono, Katana. So, I have a question for all y'all out here. Who knows the difference between a pirate and a privateer? Okay, we've talked about this. Actually, and we've talked before. You and I have not. What's the difference?
One has permission from the government.
Yep, a letter of marque. When we were discussing this as a possible panel to portray at some poor, undeserving convention, I realized something that spies are kind of like privateers. They engage in criminality, but criminals engage in criminality, spies engage in criminality, but spies have that letter of marque. They're doing it for king and country, or queen and country. It's basically state-sanctioned criminality. So that's why we decided to expand it from just spycraft to also other dirty deeds that spies would engage in, but
that criminals do.
Yes. Thieving, robbery, assassination, murder, extortion, blackmail, all that stuff, all that fun stuff.
Pickpocketing.
Disguise, all this stuff. So, we're going to be hitting on a number of aspects of what it means to be a spy, the kind of tradecraft one has to engage in to be a certain kind of spy, because there's different specialities. But good examples of it in animation. So, actually, you go first. So, how about this? Let's open this to the floor. What do you think would be, what would you think would be a good subset? If you were a spy, what kind of, what would you specialize in? Or if you can think of a speciality that a spy engages in, give us an example. Hit us.
Code cracking.
What's that?
Code cracking, white hat hackers.
Code cracking.
Hacking, I got an example of that.
Oh, okay.
Bad guys.
What about disguising?
We'll get, one at a time.
This clip I'm going to show has both hacking and disguising and pickpocketing. It's from a movie that came out last year. It's my favorite movie in several years. It's called The Bad Guys. And the bad guys are planning to raid a ceremony where they're giving a Good Samaritan Award to the goodest citizen of the last year. They want to steal the prize, the Golden Dolphin.
Who has not seen The Bad Guys? Oh, that is something you should have to remedy. It was really good.
Hurry up! Time to turn this baby.
Okay, so there's beast mode. That's what she. Okay.
No, down there. Let's see how long that lasts. That's it.
3 minutes.
Play that.
Okay.
This is a compiler. I edited together a few scenes. There's choppy cuts. Sorry.
Delicious.
Are we all in this together? So here's the plan. Like every year, the ceremony will be held at the Museum of Fine Arts, where the Golden Dolphin will be positioned just beyond the backstage curtain. Sounds easy in mind, but to get there, we need to bypass 3 levels of security. So step 1, we'll need to blend in.
So you mentioned disguise.
Snakes, fake arms.
Once inside, there are 2 armored doors. The first can only be opened by a special key card that is carried by our dear friend, the Chief of Police. The second is outfitted with a retinal scanner and guarded by an elite special ops unit trained to strike first and ask questions later. Governor Foxington is the only one who has clearance to open the second door. So step 2, she and I will need to get up close and personal.
Enjoy your evening, Mr. Ambassador.
Interesting piece. Trashy, pointless, and pretentious.
As for the sculpture, I think it's about perspective. If you look closely enough, even trash can be recycled into something beautiful.
How about that? I guess some things aren't always as they appear. That reminds me, may I can't miss a photo op with the governor in a pile of garbage.
Oh, Mr. Poodleton, you're too hard on yourself.
Hey, okay, friends.
That's all. Everyone on comms, do you copy?
Copy.
Boys, it's dolphin season.
Copy that.
Unit 2 is the backstage area still secure. This is where all the training pays off.
Pardon me. Terribly, sir.
Not a problem, sir. Keep your eyes open, boys. They could be anywhere, just waiting to kill us. Wolf is in position.
Hey, Webbs, can you enhance this?
Dad, 8 steps ahead of you, Wolfie.
Fooling the retinal scanner with a photograph of the governor's eye. That's good.
And that was that.
This is the bad guys. Way cool.
So let's see. Okay, there's actually a lot going on there. When you have an ensemble cast, very Mission Impossible, but these are the bad guys instead. Pulling off a heist, very Ocean's 11, and a little dash of here and there, a little dash of Quentin Tarantino. So what can anyone else think? You, sir. You had some other form of expertise that would that could play into Spycraft? You?
Yeah.
You raised your hand?
I did?
Yes.
Like the sort of like, I don't know if that's cinematic, more research, the analytical type of stuff.
Analysis. Yeah, analysis. Well, okay. How do we show that in animation?
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's not as much of a visual, but it is. But it is still very important.
Well, I mean, okay. In Licorice Recoil, there was a scene where they were looking at the patterns of recent crimes to try to figure out where the criminal would strike next. But I didn't think to edit that out. Licorice Recoil is a series from a year ago, which Brian has a clip from.
So here we're getting into, okay, let me ask you a question. What is the purpose of the 00 agents? People like James Bond. Anyone? They're not spies. They're not data thieves. They're not analysis. What?
Charming gentlemen?
They are killers.
They're assassins. They're the Queen's brass nuts.
If something is giving the Queen a bit of a headache, the 00s go out there, trace it back to its source, and bury it, and do not let it come back to us. They are hitmen.
They find threats to the peace and eliminate them.
And this is how the peace is kept very covertly in the world of Licorice Recoil.
In Japan, a very peaceful country without much.
Good morning, Tokyo. It's official. Cherry blossoms are now in full bloom. The high yesterday was 23.7 degrees, the highest on record this year. It was as warm as a day in late May. The announcement about Tokyo's cherry blossoms came from the meteorological...
It's a perfect sunshiny day, and I'm feeling okay. Life is good.
The accident of the old radio tower, which is now a symbol of peace and tranquility. We're seeing the construction of Enkuroku reach its anticipated height of 634 meters, finally giving us an idea how it'll look.
Good morning, Teach.
Chisato, we need you here stat.
Already? But it's way earlier than the appointed time, isn't it?
We got trouble.
Oh, and my coffee was this close to being ready, too. I love how quiet a big city is right before it's set in motion. peaceful, safe, beautiful Tokyo. Japanese people have a great respect for rules and are always kind and gentle. In the constitutional nation of Japan and its capital city Tokyo, there are no dangers. We cannot allow the existence of those that disrupt our society. In fact, they can't have existed at all. Erase, delete, destroy, and beautify. Dangers never existed to begin with. Peace is upheld by the Japanese people themselves. It's our very nature. Believing that's true is to live in pure bliss, and we're the ones who make it possible. That's what I'm told is the purpose of a licorice.
And by the way, it's not a mistranslation. It's not licorice with the shush being dropped. Licorice is a genus of plant, which has associations with death. Kind of like how in the West you send lilies to a funeral. But one thing I want to point out about the clip, it was, I don't know if you can hear it over the din of the rave, but the licorice who body blocked the guy into the bushes where he got double tapped, the guy with the knife. Even she got off a shot, a gut shot to him as she body blocked him. It happens really fast. The first time we watched it, I was like, wait, did she peel off a shot too? And we went back, and sure enough, you see a little brass fly, in there, but she's got the backup. Sure. It's quick, it's subtle.
We got trouble.
Peaceful, safe, beautiful. There are no dangers. Japanese people have a great respect for rules and are always kind and gentle. In the constitutional nation of Japan and its capital city Tokyo, there are no dangers. We cannot allow the existence of those that disrupt our society. In fact, they can't have existed at all.
Yeah, cold and efficient. That's one way to maintain the peace, I guess.
And one bad bomber really didn't expect a high school girl to kill him.
One shot, one kill. So assassination. Of course, that is what the Russians call wet work. Is an unfortunate outgrowth of this. But sometimes someone needs to be neutralized, liquidated, or any other euphemisms that you might think of. Yes?
Well, they're basically...
What's that?
They're basically Black Widows?
Only they're not trained in seduction. Which, has anyone here ever heard the term compromat? Compromat is, the KGB loved, one of their ways to get things done, to get information from people, or to turn someone into an asset, was to catch them in a compromising situation, so that they would then, it's like, we have film of you, in bed with, 2 Russian hookers, and if you don't want your reputation to be terribly trashed, you personally have targeted for this, are going to help us out. And we'll likely give you some money to sweeten the deal, to soften the blow, but we own you.
There's a story that the Soviet Union tried to pull that on some foreign dictator, and he promptly asked him for copies of the film.
I've heard that story before.
That takes brass.
Yeah, I've heard that story before.
Stalin sent, over the course of 10 years, he sent 5 assassins into Yugoslavia to kill Marshal Tito. And Marshal Tito eventually sent him a telegram and said, look, I've killed 5 of your assassins that came after me. If you send another assassin, I will send one after you in Moscow, and I won't need to send another.
Well, speaking of seduction, does anyone here know what the official, unofficial term is for that kind of that kind of trap?
Badger.
No. Yes.
Honey trap. Yes.
Ding ding ding.
What?
A honey trap.
Honey trap.
Yeah. Sometimes the seducer might be referred to as a honeypot.
Oh.
Yeah. There's an excellent example of that. But you have something to say?
No, go ahead.
Okay, there's an anime called Rin, Daughters of Nemesis, which has like super science. I can't remember if it's super science or supernatural or a bit of both. But there's an excellent example of of using those skills. So yeah, she was definitely prepared to sleep with him, to render him unconscious in that fashion, to get the information she needed.
So you already passed out.
Yep.
Hackety hack hack hack.
さすが専務さん。ミッションもバッチリ。
You know what? Actually, I just noticed something here. So, okay, bottle of pills, two glasses of liquor. One is half empty. One hasn't gone untouched. I'm going to have to reevaluate my reading of this. This could be implying that that's a Mickey she slept in, and while she was in the shower, it took effect and he was out. So maybe she didn't intend on sleeping him, but she definitely used plenty of seduction to get into the room and get to his laptop.
We also watched each other shower as to wait for the time of it.
Well, the only thing that works against that is something I was going to bring up anyway. In Western entertainment versus Japanese entertainment, usually when we see someone in a hotel shower, it's usually after they've done the deed. In Japanese entertainment, you get cleaned up before.
Yeah, clean up before the deed, you're showing them respect. Clean up after the deed, you're cleaning up the mess.
Oh, those old floppy disks.
I remember floppy disk floppy.
Speaking of assassination,
が、こちらに置いておきましょうか。それとも持ち帰った方がよろしいでしょうか。
まだ手が出せない。
Let the good times roll. So there's some also some good tradecraft in there as well. A civilian almost bumbled into the scene. Instead of letting him know that, hey, there's something dangerous going on here, thus causing him to alert the authorities, he hears what he thinks is a different kind of tussle and then goes away. This way, depending on who survives that encounter, either way, whoever lives gets to get away clean.
Before the cops show up.
Right. If he heard what sounded like what was identifiable as a life and death struggle, he would have called hotel security, who could have then also possibly informed the police.
And if it was a life and death struggle, he would reason. They wouldn't say, I can't talk right now.
So, yeah, a lot of good tradecraft in that little scene. Let's see.
What's that called?
What's it?
Is that anime called?
Rin, Daughters of Mnemosyne, spelled M-N-E, like mnemonic. We have that already. Oh, no, let's see. And Sanctuary handoff.
Yeah. This is a cartoon called Sanctuary, based on an excellent manga where two Japanese people were caught in the killing fields of Cambodia when they were teenagers. They went back to Japan and said, let's make sure this never happens in our country. So they basically played John Ken Pon, rock, paper, scissors. The loser will join the Yakuza and just work his way up through the mob. The winner will go into politics and work his way up as a politician. And in Japanese politics, you need a lot of bribery money. It's kind of corrupt. And so, and they can't let anyone know that they're working together. So in this scene, the criminal is going to give 200 million yen to the politician by giving the key to a certain safety deposit box. And here's how they manage to do it without attracting attention. Politician. Crime boss.
とりあえず2億だったな。貸金庫に入れてやる。その傷は職業病ってやつさ。
Just two people passing on the escalator, nothing to see here.
Yeah, not even the old, sit down to have lunch or something and slide something under the table, or setting down something and then walking away from it. It is even more subtle than that. Now, does anyone know what you call where you leave something for someone where no one is there? Dead drop. Yes. Excellent. We got informed people here. I love it. Let's see. Now, on a similar thing, sometimes you have to get a thing out of a place, or or pass on something to someone. And there's a zillion animes where we get to see infiltration. We see it all the time, from ninjas to spies to general, badass hero types.
Where you sneak in and get inside of some other organization.
Right. Now, who knows what the term is for the opposite of that?
Exfiltration.
Exfiltration. And we found two great examples. This is one I particularly love. From Crusher Joe, from the OVA series, from the mid-'80s.
From the author of Dirty Pair.
Yeah.
This is one generation later. This is Yuri's son. Now he's working as a...
My understanding is that it was actually just the same name type of deal.
No.
Nope. Same author.
But the same author has the same universe, but that the two Yuris are two different Yuris.
The Yuri from Dirty Pair is the one who married Crusher Dan, and their child was Crusher Joe. Kay was dating Bird and broke his heart. Bird, Talos, broke his heart, basically dumped him, and he went on the suicide mission that got him all horribly scarred and cyborg.
Oh, okay.
So the Crusher team of a generation ago was hanging out with the Dirty Pair for a while.
So what we have here is two planets. It's a science fiction series. Two planets at war with each other, and this war is threatening to, threatening to engulf, threatening to get bumped up to the next level of like planet destruction. But the presidents of both nations have been working on a peace agreement. However, there are members of the military who want the fight to keep on going. No, sir, we can win. That kind of thing.
And then, well, like for example, in real life, Anwar Sadat, the military dictator of Egypt, flew to Israel and made a peace agreement. So he was assassinated by people in his own military. Well, in this case, the people in the military don't want the president to make peace, and they're watching him and they have spies on him.
Yep. This is said president.
The drug he took brought this on.
And of course, destroy the hypo spray, so no one inject himself.
That's the president's doctor. Dispatch an infectious
Storm
disease
possibility he's infected with Basarada encephalitis. Lock down the mansion at once and seal every exit. It's imperative that you all remain inside.
But sir, I hardly think this is legit.
Hurry.
Yes, sir.
We've got a major emergency, sir. The president is critical. They've locked down the mansion. It's Basarada encephalitis. I'm afraid we're not going to be able to keep an eye on him because they're putting him in isolation. No, he doesn't suspect anything yet. Right?
That being one of the high-ranking military officers who's trying to keep the president buttoned up.
Wait! You do know what to do!
50 units of pack remaining.
Good. We're counting on you. I'm sorry, no one leaves. Basarada encephalitis is highly communicable. When the infectious disease team gets here, they're going to want to examine all of us. You do understand? Water. Give me water.
No, sir, no water. But you can have some estrogen to drink.
Who are you?
I'm Joe, the Crusher. These are my accomplices. Talos? Ricky?
Hey, what's up?
And Alvin.
That was an impressive performance, Mr. President.
I know your reputation. I would have asked for no one else.
Since you requested us specifically, Mr. President, we couldn't refuse.
I'm very grateful. It's a most grave matter.
It must be. You could have overdosed on that drug. Almost a lethal dose of vanadium.
My life is of little consequence, Ricky. The fate of all the people of Bandor and of Carmenas hangs in the balance.
That sounds cool. Ricky!
And your request?
There's been a space wreck. It's the Spard, our Space Force's high-speed cruiser.
It was hijacked by insurrectionists and forced to land on Davidoff, the fourth planet of the Vandor system. The ship is heavily damaged. Aboard the ship is our Major Tanya. Your mission is to rescue her and to destroy the Ash, the ultimate weapon that she is guarding.
So, save the damsel in distress and prevent mass destruction, huh? Is that all?
Joe, on this disk is data concerning the planet Davidoff and the ultimate weapon, Ash. For 5 years, my nation has waged bloody war with our enemy Carminas, but the war will soon be over. The Galactic Federation mediated peace talks, and Vandor and Carminas have agreed to put an end to the fighting. However, a group of military officers oppose the agreement. They regard it to be a defeat and plan to continue the war. Ash is our nation's ultimate, most highly classified weapon. The reason I am requesting your help and revealing this secret is because some high-ranking military officer must have betrayed me. Unfortunately, I do not yet know who leads the war faction. I cannot trust the military. Had I given them this mission, they would confiscate the Ash and use it indiscriminately. Just when a ray of peace was on the horizon, continued war would cast us again into darkness.
I understand completely, Mr. President.
So yeah, exfiltration is so cool. It feels so real. And when Robert here first suggested the panel idea, this was one of the first clips my mind ran to. It's like, boom, that's some tradecraft right there.
The doctor gives him a drug that simulates a horrible disease. The horrible disease means that the spies cannot directly observe the president anymore. When the president is awoken with the counter agent, he asks, give me a drink of water. Joe replies, there's no water, but we'll give you a drink of estrogen. That's a password and a response.
Yep.
Later on in the movie,
it comes into play again. At least twice.
Yeah, because Joe encounters someone who, Joe encounters Major Tanya, and her first question to him is, can I have some water? He says no, but there's estrogen. And she knows he's legit.
Yeah.
Later on, a high-ranking military officer comes to the rescue, and Tanya says, can I have a glass of water? And the high-ranking military guy turns to his aide and says, go get a glass of water. And she knows that guy's a traitor.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know the code word, the password.
Now, here's a funny style of exfiltration. Another great way to exfiltrate someone out is to make someone think you're dead. Anyone here seen Inside Job?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the scene I'm talking about?
First season or second season?
First.
I'll
run with it. So the main character, Reagan Ridley, has, much to her chagrin. Oh wait, actually, you know what? I'll show the scene that introduces him first, which is here we go. She ends up with with an unwanted boyfriend. It was a fling that gets too clingy, who is an obvious James Bond XP.
A little to the right. Okay, now make your entrance as quietly as possible.
Nice of me to drop in.
Rafe, what the fuck? You're supposed to be a secret agent. And why are you wearing a tuxedo? This is a covert mission. It's not the Emmys.
Sorry, love. Loudly is the only way I know how to enter.
Come on, man. Can we just keep things professional, please? 12 bogeys approaching. Initiate Shumerang.
Shumerang?
It's kind of a name came first, idea came second kind of thing.
Sorry, gentlemen. Just need to tie these laces. May God rest your souls.
Yes!
This man is the Michael Jordan of casual murder.
Okay, Rafe, now you just need to find the machine.
Well, if it isn't the constant thorn in my side, Rafe Masters. Dr. Skullfinger, seems I've managed to penetrate your defenses. I assure you, that's the last thing you'll be penetrating.
Are you sensing kind of a vibe between these two?
Ugh, I don't know. Everything this guy says is horny.
Behold, Project Gaslight.
Looks like
So yeah, this guy is a real headache for her, especially when he gets reassigned to her division. So she has someone gives her an idea. Here's a way to get you to get rid to Ghost. I mean, they even named this episode Ghost Protocol. Here's a way to Ghost Protocol someone. You fake your death. There's a shooter involved in this as well. Let's see. Grassy Knoll, who's the guy who basically implies the guy who killed Kennedy from the Grassy Knoll.
Rafe, over here!
Reagan!
I just can't wait to go on our second date! Oh no! What's that?
Lock and load, Noel!
Someone tells me this is a nod to a certain French or Italian film.
I've been shot so much!
Reagan! I loved her and she fell in garbage and exploded!
Oh my goodness, what a sudden elaborate death. But what do I know? I'm just a very hot and very single onlooker.
Hell yeah! I'm dead! I never felt more alive. Here, you've heard this.
Yeah, that general had been genetically modified with dolphin DNA. Because conspiracies.
Glenn Dolphman. He was Glenn Dolphman before, then he became Glenn Dolphman after he let them do radical genetic experimentation on him. So since we've touched on James Bond, Bond films have many tropes. Vodka martini, shaken not stirred. Can anyone else tell me what is another staple of a Bond film? Anyone who doesn't live in the same town as... Oh, come on! The opening titles!
Really slick Maurice Binder animations for the opening titles?
Skyfall has the best one.
Agree to disagree. But this has been replicated by a number of people who are obviously also very much in love with Bond films. Here's one of our favorites from the mid-'80s. So Maurice Binder, it hurts. But it's not the only one. Here's another particular favorite of ours. But wait, there's more. I mean, gosh, there's probably somewhere online. There's probably a whole laundry list of Bond opening nods. But here's one that caught us off guard. Anyone here know of a TV show called Reboot?
It was a Canadian CGI cartoon way long ago.
First fully CGI TV series ever. I think 1995, I think, was the first season. Yes, 94 or 95. First two seasons done for ABC. They really chafed under the restrictions put on them by ABC's Broadcast Standards and Practices Department. Then they worked on other stuff like Beast Wars. That brought them a lot of money. That got them a lot of money. And then they did out of their own pockets and through some other deals with some other companies, did a third season of Reboot. It's set inside a computer. Games get patched into the place. The Guardian has to fight the user to keep system damage from occurring. And so in this particular game, this episode starts off with a lot of Bond tropes. There's ski slopes, the music and everything, and when the game is ended, this happens. The first two seasons of Reboot were a lot of fun. When they were able to work out from under the restrictions of ABC, who basically screwed them out of a third season, strung them along just long enough and said, we're not going to do it. which did not keep them. They threw it a little to ABC in the final episode, and working on their own. The characters had matured, the stories had matured, and it shows you how long, because so many plot lines came to fruition, stuff that they'd set up years before. They basically had a lot of this planned out, and it was so great to finally see to see them bring it to life. However, Murray Spindler, the guy who directed a lot of the early, or basically directed the Bond opening titles all the way from Dr. No, all the way up to the last Roger Moore film. Let's see, which was it Octopussy or View to a Kill? One of those two. They had their own group, but British television had its own kind of groove for spy shows. There was a lot of famous ones, The Prisoner, Danger Man, and many others. And they had their own groove, which a lot of it you see reflected in the opening titles to Cowboy Bebop. That is so British 60s spy shows. And this one. Show. It's like Mission Impossible with superpowers. There is a show that just recently wrapped up. So we're gonna, switching a little away from state-sanctioned criminality to just brutal, in-your-face criminality. It's a new show that just wrapped up just a couple months ago. That is about 3-4 months ago. A Yakuza themed show, a gangster show out of Japan. Really slick, really cool. This is the opening title sequence. I'll just let it speak for itself. These are stand-ins for Yakuza games. So yeah, this show has all the gangland tropes: murder, extortion, the loyalty, the betrayals, all of it. In fact,
here's a wonderful scene, straight out of any Yakuza movie.
So that is the big boss, the Oyama.
ケダモノランドグループの目的は？
味は統一です。
今から 3店舗上がれ。ようこそコンコンカフェ。はい。中堅メイドッグ。はい。メイドカフェトンデモトン。はい。グループのメイドに必要なものは3つあります。
一つ、戦えること。
どうも。
一つ、金を埋めること。
ありがたきお言葉。
そして最も必要なのがおひねりちゃんの着服めくれないと思ったか？
出頭させていただきます。
最も必要なもの、それはグループへの忠誠心だ。
この3つを徹底すべく各店舗に調教し。
I forgot you turned absolutely blue there.
Yeah, it's. I love the fact that she's goes right past the embezzler, letting the embezzler think she's off the hook, and then boom, right through the kidney. And then another thing that I adore, because I hate Hollywood, where you shoot someone once and they say ugh and politely fall over. In real life, we've seen gun battles where people have 8 or 9 bullets in them and are still fighting. So the fact that she kept shooting her on the way down was, that's serious criminal stuff.
Yeah, it is in general practice. It's difficult to kill another human being. To do it in one shot, it takes a lot of skill or a lot of luck.
And then when she's done with the pistol, she handed it to the other maid cafe owner, and who said, "Allow me to take the fall for this," because the Oyaman never ever takes the fall.
Yeah.
One of the subordinates will volunteer, "Oh, I murdered this person," so the cops have an explanation for the murder, and she'll take the fall and go to prison.
Yeah.
So the boss doesn't. And of course, when she gets out of prison, she's got a guaranteed job waiting for her.
Yeah, as long as she keeps her mouth shut.
Yeah, and she's proven her loyalty. As long as she keeps her mouth shut, we welcome her back with open arms.
Here's a scene from a great Crimeland show set in America, because the original author loves Chicago. He loves the Blues Brothers. A guy named Kenichi Sonoda, guy who he created Gunsmith Cats. He did the character designs and art direction for Gal Force and many other great titles. Bubblegum Crisis, the original Bubblegum Crisis, and also got to write and direct a short movie called Riding Bean. Bean being the Bean Bandit. He's a transporter. He's a driver. He's also tough as nails, or nails wish they could be that tough, and generally is nobody's fool.
なんで直接帰るなり殺に逃げ込むなりしねえんだ。奴ら。
So, little setup. The unconscious girl in the middle is the daughter of a wealthy businessman who was kidnapped. First, she was kidnapped. Then, her father was kidnapped. And this person on the left says, she was kidnapped. We need to get her back to her family. All right. But everyone's out, or a lot of people are looking for her, and by extension me. Can you get her there safe? So he's hiring this transporter, Bean Bandit, to get her to the destination.
巨大な組織を持っていて、警察の中にも奴らに通じている者がいるようです。お嬢様を連れてグリムウッド家まではとても。 ここにたどり着けたのも不思議なくらいです。お願いです。あなたの車で屋敷まで送ってください。十二分な報酬をお支払いします。
なぜこの事務所を知ってた？
グリムウッド財閥の情報部があります。そこではすでにあなたは有名人なんです。
ビン、本当よ。警察の電話がその子のことを話してたわ。10分前の録音よ。
どうせきっとポルノのモデルにでも流されたんだろうが、グリムウッド家の霊長、しかも11歳でくれば変態の話を流す。やけくそになってないで、会議ぐらい出たらどうですか。俺はそういう捜査には向かねえってことぐらい知ってんだろ。形だけでもいいですから。
パーシーのなんだから5万ドル出すんなら OK だ。
引き受けてくださるんですね。
うちに着いたらキャッシュで側近だぜ。
もちろんです。
死んだの？
脳みそ出して生きてるはゾンビだぜ。
あの子は？
あそこガラスがめげる前にいつごと蹴飛ばした。一発も当たっちゃいねえが。
まだ寝てるわ。
よっぽど強力な薬をやられたか。
ビーンは大丈夫？
嬉しいね、心配してくれるとはね。よし、調子最高。アリー、テープは？
私はモーリス・グレーです。グリムウッド家のボディーガードです。あなたさんも一流の運び屋として出て。
このテープだけで信用してもらうのが苦しいわね。払ってもらえるかしら。
ま、5万は苦しいかもしれんが、相手の出方次第だな。犯人と思われたり失敗した場合は、この子を置いて逃げるだけの話だ。
どうしたの？今回はえらく塩らしいじゃないの。
幼児誘拐だけは苦手なんだよな。
ねえ、さっきのやつら誘拐犯の仲間かしら。
人質を取り返そうとせず、いきなり発砲したが。
おかしいわね。他に人から恨みを買うことは？
山ほど。
お客さんはどうするの？
後で始末屋に電話する。
What squibs?
Squibs, just in case he got shot on the other side.
Yeah.
Whoa. And she had a throat mic modulator to make her voice deeper.
Yeah, so we got assassination, not exactly exfiltration, but a staged assassination and disguise, and a setup of it. Basically, they're setting Bean up to be a patsy. They've got a lot of money riding on this, and someone has to take the fall for it.
And you get blamed for everything.
It's a damn good setup. So, speaking of assassination.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we got time for this. No worries.
The Wings of Oniamis came out in 1987. It was where Gygax came from. It was their first big commercial movie. It was fantastic. They created a whole other world and made it otherworldly because everything was changed. Their money would look like long, thin whistles. Instead of knocking on a door, you pull a string, and as it rolls itself back, it rings a bell. When people are going off on a boat, they've got these wooden slats hanging and mallets. You bang on the mallets instead of waving and yelling. All these things to make it another world. And in this story, the Kingdom of Oniamis has the Royal Space Force. And to make a long story very short, our protagonist, Shiro, has volunteered to be the next astronaut. Their enemy kingdom, their enemy country, the Republic, doesn't have a space program and thinks there's great military capability in the rocket. So they're going to steal the rocket. Or rather, that's the fallback. Sorry, this was the first plan. Instead of stealing the rocket, it was killing the astronaut. So here's Shiro and his friend out shopping. Shiro's wearing his dress uniform because he did an endorsement for advertising earlier. And Mati is just dressed in street clothes, and this happens to him.
わかった。ありがとう。
今日は帰らない方がいいぞ。そうだな。今度捕まったら確実にされたもんな。よし。何かはっきりするまでは女のところでも受けてろ。じゃあ。
これはな、クラゲじゃなくて三角のタコだ。こっちはこれはこれだよ。
There's their money.
So, assassination and disguise. What really attracted my attention in this sequence is early on.
Right there.
Yeah. Actually, play the whole thing. She shoots along the spent brass casing from the bullet gets ejected out of the gun, and he catches it in a handkerchief so he doesn't burn his skin, and there's no shell casing for ballistics to trace it.
So, well, there's the bullet, but no case.
He's sanitizing, as he goes along, he's sanitizing his...
There are terms, in assassination, there are terms messy and clean, and various levels of that in between. This would have started off, if he had hit his mark with the first shot, it would have been a very clean assassination. Very little to say who did it and how it happened, aside from, oh, this person was walking along and ended up with a bullet in him. It turned messy as his desperation to take out his target grew higher and higher, and was losing his cool a bit. And got a little more flamboyant. It's like, okay, this is now messy.
And from 1970, okay, it wasn't the 70s, it was the 80s. From 1987, that's where the sound came from. 1987 onward, I do not look at street sweeper machines or Zambulis the same way I used to.
Zamboni.
The Wings of Oneamis, the Royal Space Force, was the prestige movie that Gynax did, because originally they had done opening titles for conventions. Daikon 3 and Daikon 4 were these brilliant little opening titles they did when they were in high school, with like a no budget. So look it up on YouTube, Daikon 3, Daikon 4. It's great animation, it's where Gynax started. Then they made this movie, huge prestige movie. And this almost got released on 200 theaters nationwide in the United States. It's a company called Go East had licensed it. And part of the licensing agreement was they couldn't change any of the dialogue, except for the exigencies of lip sync. Well, I was in the theater with Mr. Okada and Mr. Yagama, the founders of Gynax, in the Chinese theater, Ford's theater, where they put the handprints in the concrete. The footprints in the concrete.
Chinese theater?
Yeah, Chinese theater. It was premiering, and we were in the middle of the theater underneath the giant speakers. It was the best seat in the house. And after it was over, I was going to interview them for my magazine, Animazine, which we sold through the comic book distributors. And during it, his translator, Torrin Smith, was telling Mr. Yagama, the short one, you see in Japanese animation, there's often two guards. One's a tall, skinny one, one's a short, fat one. It's a trope in Japanese TV. Well, Okada was the short, fat one, and Yagama was the tall, skinny one. They looked like animation characters that way. And there's a scene, the heart and soul of this movie is why he volunteers. Because the Royal Space Force is the armpit of the military. They have no prestige. No one wants to volunteer because every pilot's died because every rocket's exploded. And he meets this religious girl who's running a revival meeting, and he goes to her meeting, and she says, well, what do you do for a job? He says, I work for the Space Force. What's that? Well, we're going to send rockets into space and see if man can, survive in outer space. Wow, you're getting closer to God. That is so cool. You're in an army that doesn't fight? That's wonderful. And he's like, yeah, it is. and this girl I'm attracted to really likes it. The next morning he volunteers. And that's where the movie starts kicking off. That's the heart and soul of the movie, is why he volunteered. In the English version, and they were under contract not to change any of the meaning, except for the exigencies of lip sync. Here's the English version. I'm in the Royal Space Force. Oh, you just want to militarize space. Money should be spent here on the poor. And then he goes and volunteers.
But why though?
Mr. Okada was turning purple. He was turning all kinds of unhealthy colors. He canceled our interview, went back to his apartment, back to his hotel room, and started calling his lawyers. Now, Go East had contracted to open this in 200 theaters nationwide, the biggest thing in anime ever. Okada activated their kill clause and says, okay, that's it. You broke the agreement. We're pulling the movie. You can't have it. Go East was bankrupt in 6 months. They're done. The company was destroyed because they let their author rip the heart and soul out of the movie and step on it. When they had signed a contract saying they wouldn't do this, they did it.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, Your Honor, my hand slipped.
And Gygax, of course, went on to do Nadia of the Mysterious Oceans and Gunbuster and this cartoon called Neon Genesis Evangeli Donut, which you've probably heard of. Yeah. And Studio Trigger is a lot of the creative people from Gygax getting out from underneath odious contracts. So they could continue innovating. What's next?
Oh, okay. So here's another, winding back a little bit, here's another facet of intelligence work that I almost forgot to talk about. Whenever you have a spy organization, the CIA, MI6, Mossad, whatever, I'm curious what you might think, what is the most dangerous, toxic, cancerous thing that can happen in a spy organization?
Mole?
A mole. Yeah, you get infiltrated. And what do you call the act of seeking out moles or leaks in your organization? Counterintelligence.
What kind of?
Yeah.
The CIA does offensive intelligence. The FBI does counterintelligence.
Yeah.
Wiggles out foreign spies.
Yeah. The FBI is who's usually called on to shadow diplomats who may be doing espionage work on the side. Or that are diplomats, they've got their diplomatic immunity as their cover, but they're actually doing spy works, or rooting out either someone who has infiltrated their organization, or spotting, identifying, and arresting people who have turned. Like real-life spies, people in the CIA or the FBI who went dirty and for whatever reason decided to start selling secrets to the KGB. Yeah,
like they were bribed or they were caught in a honey trap.
Right. Yeah. There was one guy who did it actually kind of for the thrill of it. Yeah.
Well, early in the Cold War, England especially had a problem, in America to a lesser extent, of people spying for the Russians because they believed the communist propaganda and thought they were building a much better society. At one point, one of the directors of the CIA said, in the last year we've only caught people who were doing it for the money. Yay, we're winning.
Yeah.
They're not doing it for ideology anymore, they're doing it for money.
Yeah, and that makes people predictable. Now, another facet of counterintelligence is how to properly deal with defectors. Because anyone who defects, anyone who says, please take me in, could also potentially be a spy. The opposite side could be sending someone in to say, to then make records, to remember, who do we talk to? Where did they keep me for a while? How long did they keep me? What did they ask me? To basically, and where was I sent after that? Who did I interact with? A defector is always a potential mole. And I found a great example of that just a few weeks ago when I finally opened the book on, of all things, a Star Trek series, specifically Lower Decks. From the second season, who here has seen Lower Decks? Yeah, do you know who I'm talking about? Rumdar. The Packleds. The Packleds. All right, don't worry about it. So yeah, by the time the second season rolled around, the Federation, Starfleet, was having some rather violent run-ins with the Packleds, or you could just more simply call them space morons. What's that?
I said now that rings a bell.
Yeah, that tells its own tale. And they're trying to broker a ceasefire with the Packleds when this happens.
So what has you seeking asylum? Religious?
So the dude in the middle, the Packled in the middle, Rumdar has shown up on board the SS Cerritos to seek asylum. It's like, they're like, Captain's like, do we have a Packled defector on board? Yes, Captain. He just showed up. And he's like, I can make this my home now, yes? And then this comes these little trio of short clips.
So what has you seeking asylum? Religious persecution? Leading a rebellion? Some sort of sex stuff?
I want to see how the shields work.
You want to see our top secret defensive schematics?
Yeah, and your Crimson Force field, too.
I will see if it's operational. You getting as vented when they pull back the veil vibes from this guy?
Oh, yeah. Captain Freeman, our Packled refugee appears to be more of a Packled spy.
What? He hasn't gotten anything, has he?
No, I think we'll be okay. He just took a photo of his own foot.
This could work to our advantage. Maybe he'll reveal something about the attacks. Keep him talking.
On it.
Okay, so that was our top secret Starfleet gift shop. Next, how about we show you the high security juice bar?
No, now I want to see the warp core.
Sure, we'll get you there, big guy. We're not exactly dealing with a Tal Shiar here. Let's see if we can get him to tell us about their systems. Wait, where'd he go? Computer, locate Packled refugee.
No Packled detected.
What? Did he leave the ship? Did he somehow cloak himself?
Unknown.
Send his eyes red. I'll check engineering.
Oh no. How long were we out? Rumdar could be anywhere. We never should have underestimated him. Shaka? Maybe we didn't underestimate him.
Boom! Holy f***. I don't know how he was able to survive in the vacuum of space, but he's totally fine.
Packleds are strong.
How did you get outside in the first place?
I went to the bathroom. When I pressed the flush button, I got shot out of a little hatch.
Are you sure you weren't in an airlock?
Can I have all your codes now?
Get him out of here.
If only counterintelligence was so easy. But yeah, it's that exact kind of stuff that you have to look out for if you're having to babysit a defector. Because they could be sent in to penetrate and later then get away and report on how their systems work. And if that happens, okay, crap, now we got to change everything. Let's see. What did let's see. I thought, oh, that's right. Was it part of the other clip? It was not. Oh, okay.
Here's one of my favorite scenes from the bad guys. Webbs, the tarantula, is trying to hack her way into a secure system, and she's failing.
Yeah, she hits a bit of a firewall.
Hurry up, guys! Time to turn this baby off beast mode.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, you know what? Next time we do this, we should. There's a great little bit where she hits this firewall, and she's like, yeah, and she starts trying to hack away at it, and of course the people in her crew are trying to give advice, and it's terrible advice. It's like, did you restart your browser? Maybe you need to install a driver. She's like, oh, you fixed it. Really? No. So we got a little time to kill. We got 5 minutes left, and we used up most. We have different people here now. Who has seen the bad guys? Okay, and keep your hand raised if you spotted the Lupin the Third references. Ooh.
Lupin III is a famous French art thief. There's the anime about him and his crew that's been running on and off for 40 some odd years.
So,
and there are a lot of scenes of the bad guys that are lifted straight out of Lupin III.
Oh yeah. So this little clip here, the swimming clip, near the end, it's as spoiler-free as I can make it. So,
Snake! Jerk and never talk to you again?
Yeah. Point is, yeah.
I love you too, buddy. This is so beautiful. Do you know how beautiful this is? You guys? Now you're gonna make me cry.
So pathetic, right?
Come on, guys. Who said it was the end?
from the Lupin III movie, Castle Cagliostro, directed by Hayao Miyazaki.
No. Stop. Hold on. Wait.
So, if I remember right, wasn't that little dive splash replicated in the first episode of Nadia? Yes.
I have the bad guys that I looked at earlier for Swings Rare.
That I just showed that.
Oh no, there's a scene where they're going down the stairwell like in full confession.
Oh, during the police chase. Yeah, we got
that for another panel previously.
Tell me. Don't mind us, just robbing this place.
Yeah.
This is straight out of any number of
And also, just like many other gangster films, including some Tarantino films, starts off with a couple of criminals having a mundane conversation across from each other at a diner right before they go and commit a big ass crime.
A little bit closer. Oh, I know what it is. You're afraid because I'm the big bad wolf. Well, I'm not surprised. I am the villain in every story. Isn't that right, Mr. Snake? Say hello to Mr. Snake. Serpentine, safe cracking machine. Imagine Houdini, but with no arms. Kind of guy who'd tell you the glass is half empty to steal it from. He's also my best bud. Today's his birthday. Not relevant. He's a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. Relevant. Who's here? Took long. Watch this. 3, 2, 1. And
more hacking.
Is Miss Drench. Our in-house hacker, our pocket search engine, our traveling tech wizard. We call her Wiz. slick whip.
I also took over the police dispatch, blurred their satellite imaging system, grounded their chopper, and one more thing.
I got a special delivery for...
Happy birthday, Mr. Grumpy Pants.
I think I hate you.
And this is Mr. Shaw, Master of Disguise, apex predator of 1,000 faces. His greatest trick, stealing the Mona Lisa disguised as the Mona Lisa. Dig that. Watch it, Big Tuna. I'm trying to work here.
Keep it cool, baby. The birthday should be chill.
And rounding out the crew is Mr. Piranha. He's a loose cannon with a short fuse, willing to scrap with anyone or anything. He's brave. He's fearless. Who am I kidding? He's crazy.
Piranha, did we forget something?
What? The present.
Of course I didn't forget. You know you fart when you lie, right?
What? No, I fart when I'm nervous.
Yeah, nervous about lying.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're a bit eccentric, but when you're born us, you don't exactly win many popularity contests.
Do I wish people didn't see us as monsters?
8 legs, 8 times cardio.
Sure I do. What's up, Papa? But these are the cards we've been dealt, so we might as well play them. Jackpot!
What the thorax? Crazy.
What? I just wanted a longer card chase. It's the best part.
It's them.
Webbs, hit it.
So yeah, for those who are familiar with Lupin the Third, oh my God, the Zenigata vibes I got off Chief Misty Luggins were very strong.
You also okay? You seem a little angry. Get that thing out of my face before I... What? Stop. Stop. Drop your mind.
The scene coming up is exactly out of an amateur film that a young woman in Japan made called Fumiko's Confession. So if you go to YouTube, look up Fumiko's Confession.
It's adorable and hilarious.
And you'll see what these guys are attributing.
We may be bad, but we're
favorite scenes in this movie is when Webbs the tarantula is hacking through this really intensive security system, and she beats it, and a little capture comes up that says, "Click here, I am not a tarantula." She has to click that to get in.
The film is so charming, and if you love good, at least in my opinion, good music, the soundtrack for it is so good. Oh, it's great. By the way, love the Your Forger. Looks like you have her hair.
No, actually, I'm doing.
Because also I saw the red.
Yeah, no, I'm doing X-Holic, Yuko Ichihara.
What, are the designs that similar?
Yes, actually. Yeah. It's one of her outfits. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I saw the red, I saw the hairdo, and Spy X Family and Licorice Recoil definitely inspired this panel last year. So, gee, I kind of had that on my mind. Wonder why. Yep, we're done. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Are you guys used to watch it?
What's that?
You used to watch like Atomic Blonde.
I love that movie.
Atomic Blonde is amazing.